Okay, hello, Eric Freeman here. This is an old trick I learned when I was stuck in Texas in my car in the middle of the night and I didn't have a fuel tank sender unit, so I didn't know how much gas I had. This is a Ford sending unit in an old Mustang. Could be a Cougar or a Mustang, it could be any old Ford. I don't know, probably up to about 75 or maybe even 1980. And of course, this is the brass float. This is always the culprit. What happens is this holding arm holds on to the brass float real tight over a number of years, and it cracks it. And it's got gas in it. You can probably hear it. Anyhow, it's got gas in it so it doesn't float. Well, that means you're fucked, because when this thing's attached here, like so, it stays down. That's empty tank, that's full tank. Empty, full. Okay, when this thing's full of gas, it's not going to float. It's not going to tell you what you got for a level, so you're fucked in the ass. Sorry. Okay, so this is the fuel filter. This rides on the bottom of the gas tank. When it's all into the gas tank, it sits like this. This is in the very bottom of the gas tank, and that's where the float would be when you're empty. Of course, you get a half a tank, a full tank of gas, and then it registers on your dashboard, you know, accordingly. But here's the thing. You could buy a new fuel tank sending unit and a new one that won't have a brass float. But if you're stuck somewhere, or you know your sending unit's good, and you can check by two ways. You can plug it in here in the bottom and the back where your plugs in your tank, and you can lift the arm. As long as it's grounded, of course, you're going to have to touch alligator clip to here and ground it to the car body, and then put your boot on here, your electrical boot, that connection, and then of course ground it. And you can move the arm and you can see it move on your gauge if it's good. The other way is you can put it on a multi-tester in ohm setting, and ohms like 200k ohms, and it should be about 85 when it's at the bottom, and then 110 at the top, somewhere in there at 200k ohms. You can test it with an ohm tester if you want, but probably faster and more visual is to ground it and plug in the boot here, and then just move the arm and check it at your dash with the ignition on, of course, and that'll tell you what you got. But here's the thing. Here's why I'm making this dumb little video, is because when I was stuck in the middle of the night with no fuel tank unit and you know, in the middle of nowhere, I waited till the morning and I got a gasket for the fuel tank sending unit. It's a ring gasket, O-ring, but I couldn't get anything else, and I used a vitamin bottle, just a standard vitamin bottle. I took the label off it, and what I had is some silicone, so I put some silicone on the threads, a little bit on the inside of the cap, and I reefed it down really tight, and I snapped it in place. If you get the right size vitamin bottle like that, that's it. That's what you got, man. And I'm telling you, it worked for 10 years. It still would have worked, but I'm replacing the tank. And I just wanted to show you that you can make your own float vitamin bottle. And this son of a bitch worked great. It got me all the way home, registered perfectly. The thing's still viable, and I could still just put it back in as is and say, hey, fuck it. But I just thought I'd let you know, if you're ever stuck and you don't want to spend the 35 or 40 bucks or whatever it is for the whole unit, including the new style plastic float, and you know it's your float and the rest of the unit is good, snap a vitamin bottle on it, man. And there you go. So thank you for looking, and I know it's you know, the poor man's way to get out of a little bit of a hassle, but it was worth it then, and it's still worth it now. I could put it all back together like this, but since I got a new tank, I'm going to go all new. And it's been a pleasure. You take care now.